Finally, inner peace. Now what?
Did you know that in Kung Fu Panda 4, Po will have to fight and defeat simply the most powerful and deadly being in the entire Warrior Dragon franchise, the very Master Oogway himself?
I think I just peed a little.
Well, folks, who would have thought that the Grand Master of the Jade Palace, the one capable of sealing and defeating even all the demons that haunted the Valley of Peace, could become the greatest villain in the history of Kung Fu Panda? This can certainly be considered one of the biggest twists and surprises in the history of all animations ever.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
Want to know more about this and about all the mega awesome stuff that's going to happen in Kung Fu Panda 4? Then stick with us till the end of the video.
Enough talk. Let's fight. Shafabui!
The greatest villain of all. At the end of Kung Fu Panda 3, we saw that Po is simply on another level, as he becomes practically the supreme master in the mastery of both Chi and spiritual energy, making him almost invincible. At least, that's what we fans imagined, but DreamWorks has already made it clear that Kung Fu Panda was originally planned to have 6 movies. And yes, all 6 movies will be made. Whoa! According to DreamWorks bigwig Jeffrey Katzenberg. So, to make the story really exciting, Po will need worthy enemies, and the truth is, in Kung Fu Panda 4, that will definitely happen. Even though, in the end, almost, I repeat, almost no one is a match in a mano-a-mano fight with Po.
He's a panda. You're a panda. What are you gonna do, big guy? Sit on me?
This is because there's someone who, if they were to fight Po, it would be nearly impossible to say that they'd come out as the winner. We're talking about the very creator of Kung Fu, the turtle who more than 1,000 years ago left the Galapagos Islands and settled in the Valley of Peace, the great Master Oogway. That's right, can you imagine a fight between Po and Oogway?
My time has come. You must continue your journey without me.
Well, that's exactly what could happen in Kung Fu Panda 4. This is because DreamWorks revealed that the main villain of the film will be the Chameleon, a great sorcerer capable of summoning mighty warriors who are dead or in the spirit realm, which is exactly the case with Master Oogway, who definitively departed the Kung Fu Panda franchise in the 3rd movie. Or so we thought. This terrible villain, the great sorcerer Chameleon, can summon warriors who were eliminated by Po. Even if there's no one who can match the great warrior dragon in a one-on-one fight, it doesn't mean that if more than one of the franchise's major villains team up against Po, he could be defeated. And that's exactly what the Chameleon will try to do, summoning at the same time the 3 villains from the previous Kung Fu Panda movies, Tai Lung, Lord Shin, and Master Kai, Oogway's former brother-in-arms. Seriously, this warrior dragon is really tough. If you're a fan like us and also love Kung Fu Panda, drop a hashtag Po down below to let us know you're also on the level of the Valley of Peace's protector.
No, this is just an accident.
And Po is so strong that everything indicates the 3 villains from the previous films, even though they'll give Po a tough time, and after some sensational fight scenes, they won't be able to defeat the Great Master and Warrior Dragon. This will result in the Chameleon's final and most powerful summoning, Oogway himself, the Master of Masters, Sovereign of the Jade Palace, and former protector of the Valley of Peace. If you've watched Naruto, you're probably thinking that this is quite similar to Ito Tensei, which resurrects the dead, but they have no control over their actions and must obey the summoner, right? Well, that's exactly how it's imagined the Chameleon's magic will work, because this would be the only way for Master Oogway to face Po. How this will actually happen is a mystery, and this theory fits perfectly with all the information that DreamWorks has released so far. But one thing everyone is sure of, the fight animations in the Kung Fu Panda franchise are simply sensational. And to see Po fighting against the 3 major villains he defeated, or even against Oogway himself, that's going to be absolutely incredible to watch. You can be sure of it. And for sure, this is going to be the biggest challenge Po has ever faced since the beginning of the Kung Fu Panda movies. One he's almost not going to be able to win, but luckily for him, he'll have someone by his side to help him overcome it. The new Warrior Dragon. Yeah, folks, as much as we love Po as the Warrior Dragon, at some point he's going to have to pass the mantle to a successor sooner or later. And one of the things we know about Kung Fu Panda is that in the film, Po will leave the Valley of Peace for the big city, and one thing that's for sure is that this would make him need to do so, because unlike turtles that live for hundreds of years, pandas have much shorter lives. Furthermore, when the franchise started in 2008, Po was already 27 years old. In Kung Fu Panda, he was 30, and by the 3rd movie, he was already 35, and there's a strong possibility that the next film will have a time jump of a few more years, which would put Po in the position of an older, probably 40-something wise master. Even though he won't be as old as Shifu or Oogway, Po realizes that he'll soon need a successor to fight in his place to protect the Valley of Peace, and is practically certain that this new warrior dragon will appear in the 4th Kung Fu Panda movie. But who they'll be, their gender or species, is a surprise that we'll all enjoy together when we watch the new movie. But what we know is that without the help of his disciple, it will be practically impossible for Po to defeat the next villain and the next fighters he'll have to face. So we're here hoping that it'll be someone worthy of this sacred warrior dragon mantle. After all, we still have Kung Fu Panda 5 and 6 to enjoy in the coming years. So who knows, maybe it's a young panda from the Panda Village, the new warrior dragon, right? It would be really cool if it's someone of the same species as Po, at least in my opinion. And you, what kind of animal or character from the Kung Fu Panda saga would you like to be the next warrior dragon? Comment down below so we know. But the fact is that this new warrior dragon is definitely going to be one of the big surprises of this movie. But it won't be the only one, as there's a great speculation that the enemies who almost took Oogway's life in the past may appear again. The demon gang from the underworld. Not everyone knows, but in the animated series Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness, many facts, especially about the past deeds of Master Oogway and even about the Peach Tree of Heavenly Wisdom, are told in complete synchrony with the events of the franchise movies. And one of the things that's part of Kung Fu Panda's lore is precisely the greatest and most difficult feat of all that the creator of Kung Fu achieved, when he, despite being the strongest being in the entire Kung Fu Panda universe, couldn't defeat the demons of the underworld because they were numerous and could only seal them back in the Dark Realm. The seal that prevents them from returning is located right in the center of the Jade Palace. And the battle was so intense that the very Oogway was nearly killed by one of the most powerful demons named Keppa, who appears in the animated series, but he was ultimately saved by the Peach Tree of Heavenly Wisdom at the last moment. One theory suggests that perhaps, not during the events of Kung Fu Panda 4 itself, but at the end, bridging into the 5th film of the franchise, we'll see this cracked and almost breaking seal as a result of Po's final epic battle in the movie. It's a bit reminiscent of what happened in the series, but with a more serious and grave tone, introducing even stronger adversaries. This hints that we'll likely see more from the Dark Realm, in addition to the Spirit Realm, being explored in this franchise, bringing enemies with a high level of power that Po and his pupil, along with the Furious Five and Master Shifu, will have to face in the upcoming animated films of the franchise. Man, seriously, that would be so awesome. But what we have no doubt about is that we'll still get to see a lot of fights and have many laughs with Po. That's exactly why the director of this upcoming film will be the director of Shrek. And release date: Shrek Forever After, released in 2010, more than a decade ago, was thought to be the final installment of the Green Ogres franchise, at least until DreamWorks announced that Shrek 5 and maybe even a solo Donkey movie are in development. Mike Mitchell was at the helm of Shrek Forever After. Besides directing the final Shrek film, he also helmed the 2011 Alvin and the Chipmunks, Trolls, and even the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. So the guy has experience with both comedy movies and major animations, which is excellent news for us fans. It indicates that Po's 4th movie is in capable hands, and do a good job so I can laugh and have fun, Mike. Furthermore, as far as we know, even with the Hollywood writers and actors strike that began in May 2023, it seems the film wasn't delayed since its production was nearly complete, and only post-production is ongoing. Officially, the date to head to the theaters and experience this new super adventure of the Warrior Dragon will be in early March 2024. In other words, it's closer than we think, even though I'd love to watch it tomorrow if I could. But for now, we'll have to wait and hope for another epic adventure from the funniest and chubby warrior in animations. That's all we know about this film that promises to be sensational. How about you? Are you also excited to watch Kung Fu Panda 4? Comment down below so we know. Also, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Until next time, bye-bye!